My name is Robert Amper, and I will guide you through the DVD tutorial series Whip Basics, a Beginner's Guide. Well, this is Volume 2. In Volume 1, we had the basics and the 4-crack routine. Here in Volume 2, there'll be more techniques, target work, and I'm going to teach you a 10-crack routine. Later on in Volume 3, we will exceed the whole thing to a routine of 23 cracks, and I'm going to teach you there how to wrap objects and persons in a safe way with a whip. Volume 4 later on will be not that much about technique, but more about maintenance, care, how to make your own crackers, how to change a fall, what whip for what purpose, and so on. But now let's go to work here in Volume 2. We start Volume 2 with a figure 8. To be honest, there is more about the figure 8. I'm going to show you. Well, that was the slow figure 8. And you guess if there is a slow something from anything, there must be a fast one too. And the fast one is that one. That is the fast figure 8. And so we break this down in two parts. The slow figure 8 and the fast figure 8. But first on the slow figure 8. And so, first we have the slow figure 8. And the slow figure 8 is, in detail, a combination of two circus cracks. One in this direction and one there. Let me show you. Technique number 1, here, we follow through, and the second one there. Together, it's like 1 and 2, okay? It's kind of goes there like this, and then it goes like that. And so you have an X directly here. Therefore, I called it the crossover. To the detail. Technique number 1 is the forward crack as we had it in Volume 1. But the difference is, in Volume 1, the forward crack was cracked here on that side. Brought it back here, cracked it here. Everything happened on the right side. Not this time. This time you crack it over here to the left side. Okay, big difference. So the whip is out in front of you in a straight line, nice and safe again. You bring it back, and this time you crack it down here to the left side. Just to compare it, in Volume 1 the forward crack was like this. It was like that. On the same side here. For this one, we go like that. And the whip ends here on the left side. And now comes the tricky part. When you have the horses here and you crack the whip like this, you can't hit the horses. You don't go bang. And therefore, they developed a crack which went straight up in the air. And just up front, for the Coachman's crack, there are several, well, let's call variations. The Coachman crack looks like this. Okay? So the whip comes down straight. It's a nice thingy for you to control, to check. When you crack it straight up here, the whip will come straight down, like this. Yes? Perfect. Straight up, straight down. And now to the details. The Coachman's crack works like this. The whip is out behind you. You bring it up and you let the whip come up here, under your arm. It comes, but not like this. Oh, this is wrong, just to get the picture, okay? Don't get me wrong here. You start the crack and the whip comes up here. Like that. And there is one thing I highly recommend. William, please take it serious. If you crack the Coachman's crack, it will crack in that area here. In other words, very close to your ears. Well, one crack, okay, two crack, three cracks, use ear protection. You don't have to look like a Mickey Mouse, just something a little bit here. But again, do me the favor. First, master the slow figure eight and the fast figure eight, and then start to build these little brick walls, okay? First, the technique, and then your combinations. Now we start a 10 crack routine. In volume 1 we had a routine, 4 cracks in a row, and here we're going to exceed the whole thing to a 10 crack routine. But first I'm going to show you the whole combination overall. It looks like this. Crack your whip, like that. And then we have stance number 2. Stance number 2, your feet are still side by side, but at shoulder width, like this. Like this. You have a stable base here, and from here you crack your whip again, just like this. Then we have stance number 3. Stance number 3 is a little bit different. When you crack with your right hand, bring your right foot back so that the tip of your right foot is at the height of the toe of your left foot, like this. And from here on, you crack your whip like that. When you're left-handed, you change the whole thing. That means your right foot is in front and the left foot goes back, so that the tip of your left foot is at the toe of the right one. And then from here on, you go and you crack your whip. Stance number 4 is you step into the crack. You start, as in stance number 2, your feet about shoulder width, parallel, side by side. And now comes the tricky part. The moment you bring the whip up, you start to step into the crack. Your right foot keeps there, the left foot goes into the crack, like this. Whip up and crack. But the very important part on all this is, first the foot has